The digital world moves fast, but real growth comes from real conversations. This is e-Coffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, Victor here back again with Coffee with Experts. And I was just talking to our guest now about the beautiful visas he has seen, the beautiful places, and even 7 lakes next to each other. Where was it again, Stefan? Sorry, the 7 lakes?
7 lakes were in Riva Mountain in Bulgaria.
In Bulgaria. And I'm pretty sure you're going to have a lot of the same reactions that I did once you go type it on Google, or even better, do it like him, travel to Bulgaria yourself. But alas, we have today Stefan Chekanov here, the co-founder at Brosix, talking to us about his programming life since 1985, how he has worked around the market itself, and everything else that he wants to share. Stefan, thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. And first of all, very much thank you for inviting me for this episode. It's my honor being with you.
No, of course. The pleasure and the honor is all mine. Why don't you start by, as I said, saying programming in 1985? I know it is a long time ago. Music was very different back then. I enjoy a lot of the music back in that era, not gonna lie. How was your life overall? Why did you start programming? Is it something that was always in your life, that you always liked ever since back then?
I was a teenager. Actually, I was kind of 14, 15 years old. And all teenagers look for themselves to find something about important in their life. It happened that I met an Apple II computer at that time, and I immediately fell in love with the opportunity to give it instructions and then receive immediate feedback action. So you say what you want to do and it does it for you. It was kind of magic for a child, for young man. So it was really inspirational for me.
Right now, I think when talking about the teenagers, programming is still something that they are very much looking forward to start doing. Right? You have a ever-growing need of developers. You have an ever-growing need of tools, but at the same time, right now you have AI. We'll delve into AI a little bit later. I don't want to spoil the conversation just yet. But then, naturally, my next question to you would be: when was the moment where you transitioned from an engineer to a founder of your own company?
I didn't plan to be founder and to run my own business. Actually, I've been working as a programmer for many years, doing software from many different projects with different applications of this software. And at some point of time, I realized that I can do from scratch a full-scale projecting from the beginning, developing all of its features, functionalities. I realized that I love building tools that is in help of people. And actually, this was the reason. It was a natural process, just loving to what you do and doing the things that you love. At one moment, you found yourself that you want to do more for people.
I see. And well, doing stuff that you love is very important. Talking is something that I very much like myself. So talking about Brosix, for example, a communication tool, especially if I'm correct, especially designed for business, right? So team communication, it demands a lot of user friendliness, and it demands at the same time a very good product so that everybody stays satisfied while using it. For example, we were using Skype at the company, and it was just the bane of my existence because Skype was never meant to be a business communicator. It was through video, but not through chat with groups and a lot of people, right? So it was always a very bad time having to update myself over on Skype. And not only that, I remember having some random invites of external people saying, "Hi, dear. How are you doing?" So it wasn't, at the end of the day, it wasn't an ideal communicator for that purpose, but Brosix is. And then let me tell you this, when you started it, what were the challenges you were facing, especially considering that first you were already a seasoned programmer? And if I'm correct, you bootstrapped your company. So you weren't looking for external investors or VCs or whatever that could make it more pressurable for you. But please enlighten us. How was it?
Actually, we didn't want to build a tool or start such an application, but we saw a need for this. At that time, there were several applications, consumer applications for people to communicate with each other. Like you said, Skype, there were also others like Yahoo Messenger, Live Messenger, etc. But they were consumer applications for consumer people. If businesses wanted to communicate with that members to communicate with each other, they had very limited options. They had to use, for example, email, phone calls, and if they want to use chat, which was very modern at that time and new technology, they had to install on their premises on their servers, which means that they have to have dedicated IT department to deal with all the setup, configuration, maintenance, which is not easy task. It was very hard for companies to use their own messaging system, and they ended up using consumer applications, which is not secure at all. And some people in some businesses, people don't realize the importance of the communication in business communication. But fresh example is recent military leaks that happened because high-level officers used a consumer platform to communicate and synchronize important military
I
operations.
know what you're talking about. I read about it as well.
Yeah, and this leaked to everyone, to the public. This is a secret operation, and they use consumer application. It's the same case when you use consumer applications for business purposes. You don't know at what time random people will go into your chat communication and will get your data. I know many people say, okay, I don't have something important. I don't have anything to hide from the outside, but still any businesses has something important, because the important thing in your business is the unique selling point that you sell to your customers, and you still need to protect your data. And this recent leak, military leaks, shows that technology advancements is not enough for securing the communication. It's very important to use a platform that implements authorized access control, and it should be implemented inside the way the platform works. And this was our idea when we started Brosix. We wanted to build a platform that's for business use with all the authorization and access control built inside the system. So when people use it, when you go to your office and want to communicate with your colleagues, you don't think about if I sent it to the proper people, if I mistakenly sent some message to someone who is outside of the company and I might do some harm to the company. We don't think about all this detail. You just use the application, send it, it's inside your team. Whatever happens, it's inside your team.
That's true. I mean, and I think that's why you laughed when I said that I receive requests from outsiders, right? Because it is strange.
At that time, when were only consumer applications, it was very much like dating applications. You receive invitations from random people and don't know who is this one.
True.
I've been receiving very strange invitations as well for myself, because I use internet since 1997, early age. So I've been receiving very strange requests over consumer applications. And that's why I was thinking about building application for businesses, because we've been working with several companies across Europe, United States, and we needed a secure and reliable and convenient way to communicate with each other. And that's why we built this application.
I see. That's great to know. That's actually a very nice story. Thank you for sharing. You were just mentioning about receiving these very strange requests, and we're kind of delving into cybersecurity territory here, talking about how important it is to keep everything safe and locked, right?
Yes, actually, cybersecurity, the weakest point of cybersecurity is human, the person.
It's not even in the name, but the biggest enemy is not in the name of the thing, cybersecurity. It's not human security.
So whatever technology you use, if the person doesn't use it properly, will make it weak. And that's why it's important to use tools that don't easy and convenient and naturally to be used in a secure way. So you don't need to do any special efforts in order to make it secure. It just goes naturally. This is what we wanted, to build something that's natural for people when they go to the office, use it just like they use it with their friends and families at home. At the same time, they're still in secure environment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Skype, as we know, doesn't fit that criteria. But then whenever I think of secure communications, especially internal ones, right now we think of Slack, for example. We think, does Microsoft Teams get into that category? I think so, right? But my question to you would be, at the end of the day, some users, depending on their needs and everything else, they may end up having to differentiate you, Brosix, with the other two. How do you make sure that you're differentiating yourself to those two big corps, one owned by Microsoft, the other one owned by Salesforce? So it's a very tight market, I imagine, but I know that you found success in it.
Microsoft and Slack and the other applications, they focus on big corporations with huge budgets. They focus on many integration options with their huge ecosystem with many applications. While we at Brosix, we focus simply on the communication between
Mhm.
they are just able to send messages, send files, make video calls, and that's all. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated, just make it easy for the people to communicate. And at the same time, we focus on two things: easy for the end user, from the employees
That's super important.
with each other. And the other thing we focus is to make it easy for the management, for the company management to control and maintain the system just like Snap, just like easy. Just don't get into very complicated configurations, etc. You don't need to be technical expert in order to maintain and use this system as a manager. You don't need a dedicated IT team to manage it, to operate.
Which is a problem a lot of CRMs find even to this day, right? So you have engineers built for them.
Yes, I usually joke with my colleagues that I found some tool that could be very useful, but it's so complicated that you need to get university degree, especially for this tool. And
Yes.
we don't
Yes.
need Brosix to be to need special degree for the users to use it. It should be as simple as possible and natural for people to go and use.
That's perfect. That's a really, really good priority to be have. And I say that because one of my side jobs here is to test a lot of tools for the company, but I do it because I love it. I love the idea of testing, of experiencing myself with new softwares. But it's such a turn down, turn off. Whenever you go to a tool and you have such a bad setup experience, you have such an awful, it's such a bad first impression, right? And some companies don't understand this, the first impression, but they make it such in a bad way that you end up just deleting your account, going away, unsubscribing on the newsletter, and never going back there again.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So it is important to see that you understand this important side of customer experience, for example, because at the end of the day, I can definitely see that users are looking for more friendliness, especially now coming back to that thing again, especially now that AI is digesting so many things for us and making sure that we put even less effort in our day-to-day basis, right? Talking about AI, let's just kill this conversation already with AI. Talking about AI itself, how do you see it transforming companies like you, softwares like yours, or maybe Slack, maybe even the rest of them? Is there already a trend that you're noticing in the communication market, or is this gonna be the last hope for more for humanity in the non-AI world?
It's a big hype about AI, and I've
Yeah,
been seeing many hypes over my career with different areas. I would say AI is just a tool and
it's true.
should not be afraid of this tool if you use it properly. Of course, the knife and the fork and the spoon are also tools, and you can use knife to get to slice from your bread, but you can use the tool to kill someone, of course.
To stab somebody, yes, true.
The same is with AI. You can use this tool for something good, for people, for to make yourself more productive and your team more productive. You can use it to be more productive and provide more services to your customers. And you can also use it for bad things. So I think it's just a tool, nothing special. Especially in the communication area where we work, we see it as a complementary tool that can summarize conversations, suggest replies, help with language translations, for example. It's very useful in language translations. I use it with language translations very often.
Makes sense. Because why did I say about the last hope for humanity? Because when I think of communication tool, what do I want an AI over that? Yes, I want an assistant AI over there to maybe help me find conversations, but I don't want an AI to reply for me, right?
Yes, I don't want it to reply and say something on my behalf,
Exactly.
but I would use it to help me
Write it myself. Yes, exactly. That's what I use. So I have an idea. I don't know how to put it in words yet. I ask the AI, but I don't want an AI chat bot that's replying back for me. right?
Yeah.
That's not the goal.
No.
And even chatbots themselves, I worked with chatbots in 2020. Even them have lost their grace somehow because a lot of users are already fed up of going into a support page or a support channel and seeing that, who's replying back is a bot, not a human being. So I think this will never change the need of talking to another human. Even with an AI helping in the background, the human side of it is what's going to keep the communication business alive.
Humans are social. We need to communicate with another human. It's not the same like communicating with a machine. I've been trying to communicate with AI like a human, but it's not the same. It's different to communicate with a machine and a real person with all the feelings and all the expressions, the natural body language, the face language, all this.
Yes.
Including the mistakes we do while we're talking. They are beautiful and they are nice to see that how someone is expressing himself.
Yes. Yes. Well, we talked about how it all started for you. We talked about you at Brosix and how you started it up. Now about AI, which was a great conversation. Thank you so much. Now I think we should start talking about a different channel, which is, your marketing and sales one. And of course, I'm not asking for any secret spices here, but product does not aim for the huge enterprises like Slack or Skype is. Those ones, Microsoft Teams, for example, they are for the companies with the thousands of employees. So how are you right now making sure that those that visit your website, that those that get to know you understand that if they're not one of those big 500, Bros exists for them?
Actually, we try to send our message through the website. So when someone comes to the
Which is a very beautiful website, by the way.
thank you. It was hard to build it. We've been
Nice.
building
Nice to
the
know.
website every few years. By the way, Brosix makes 20 years this way. Yeah.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. So
Very
it was
nice.
always our desire to express what the services and what the benefit is for the users, for the companies through our website. This is the main communication channel.
Nice. Websites are important,
Yes, we
right?
also offer to our customers free trial, which allows them to touch the service, see what it's about. And we know sometimes it may be complicated for them, so we offer demo sessions so they can just make a video call like we do with you now. And someone from our team shows all the details, configure and set up the system according their special needs. So they are not left alone like humanless website. There are many services you go to the website and you even don't have an option to make a contact with that team. No contact form, no email, no phone number, nothing. We are trying to be with human face to our customers and visitors so they always have an option to contact us and always have an option to get a video session and they see from inside what we can assist them how to solve their problems.
That's nice. Again, coming back to the customer experience onboarding part of things, it is important.
Yes, especially for the
Great to know. Well, I have two more questions. One very business-like yet, and the last one more personal one. So let us just close the business side of the conversation, which is in regards to what about the future? What do you expect of everything else, of Brosix, of everything that you're doing, of AI in the communication space, of everything that we are already seeing, the changes, the shifts in communication, and how you're preparing? You even said so. You have been building your website for years and years. So I imagine that it's always in a building state and an improvement state of every year we have to improve, we have to grow, we have to make sure that we're following the trends and the needs of the customer. So I imagine that this won't change in the present or in the near future, but do you already have a set plan or do you envision something that you would like to share here with us?
Actually, we cannot see in the future. We can only guess what will happen. But what we can do is just to hear what our customers need. Usually, the big changes in our lives they start from small changes over the time, building over the time. At one moment, all people focus on this new change, and we say, "Wow, this is something great, new hype like AI."
3D television. Remember 3D?
Yes, 3D television. Or can you remember the word before internet? I've been living before internet.
Yeah.
I know what is it about to live without internet, without mobile phone. But when everyone focus on a new technology, it becomes hard. It becomes very famous. Everyone wants to work and build it. And from a business point of view, we have to look at the small changes that happen over the time and the changing of the needs of the customers so we can predict not for the next 10 years, but for the next 1, 2, or 3 years to predict what will they need. So we provide the service for them. At the end, we do the business not for ourselves. We do the business for the customers to make their life easier.
That's it. That's what it's all about. It's always about the customer at the end of the day. Ever has been. Well, thank you for sharing this. My last question, Stefan, would be I always touch base on this, especially with founders like yourself, which is we usually have a lot of students watching us here with their 20 years old behind their back. Very young people, not even Gen Z, I think. But alas, you get what I mean.
Mhm.
We have a lot of people here who get inspired by the stories, who get inspired by what people did and what are people doing right now. So if I could ask you for a single piece of advice that you can share with those watching us that are feeling those shoes, maybe about starting their own business just like you did, maybe about understanding how the market works, what could you share to them?
Actually, I've never been thinking about starting my business just for the
As
business.
it said,
I was just inspired to build software. This was my dream from my teenage years. So my single advice to everyone, every teenager, every young man and young woman is to just do what you love. When you do what you love, if at the end you feel satisfied with your life, you feel happy, and it's not important what is your work, what is your job. The important thing is that you love it. If you don't love it, just change it. Find something that you love, whatever it is.
I'm happy. I'm happy that you said so because I 100% agree. I think that's very important. You have so, especially nowadays, now with the internet. Not saying it in a bad way, but so many distractions and people chasing the wrong things, right?
Yes, especially with the social media networks, we are overloaded with too much
Overloaded. Yeah.
information, too much happiness coming from other people, and we want to be happy like this one, happy like the other one, but we have to find our way to be happy. And this is usually not in the social media. This is usually when you do something, create something. Creating is a human process, just to create something.
Oh, that's perfect. What a line. That'll be the highlight for the video. Stefan, my friend, thank you so much for just being here. I'm very happy with the things that you've shared, especially with, again, somebody who knows so much like you. It was a pleasure and it was an honor. For everyone else who's watching us, please do your best to follow all of these stages that we're going to be putting down the description below. If you are a smaller company than, the Forbes 500 are, and you're looking for a communication tool for yourself and for your own business, take a look at Brosix. The links will be down in the description below as well. Stefan, my friend, thank you so much. You were the best.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It was my honor and my pleasure to speak with you.
Awesome. I'm wholeheartedly honored as well. I'll see you all at the next time. Bye bye, everyone.